Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brainbean here again, and today we're going to talk about 5 common, very easily avoidable mistakes that a lot of people make when buying a gaming chair. Now, I know before we even dive into the list that there's going to be a lot of you that are going to say, well, the first mistake is even buying a gaming chair in the first place. And that is definitely true for a certain group of people. Now, I do think if you're just like a younger person, maybe under the age of 30 or so, in generally good health, and you realize that gaming chairs might not be the most ergonomically friendly, but you just like the aesthetic or kind of the status that goes along with having one if you're like a streamer or something like that, then I think gaming chair is just fine. If you're somebody that's over the age of 30, have a history of back injury or back problems, or you spend 8 to 10 plus hours at your desk every day working or gaming or something like that, then I would recommend maybe looking into like a mesh-backed chair like a Herman Miller Aeron, a Cougar ARGO, Triigger 350, autonomous ergo chair 2, something like that. But this video is definitely geared more towards those who just want a gaming chair. So the first mistake a lot of people make is assuming that all gaming chairs are essentially the same. Now, I know that if you look at like the piece that Gamers Nexus did about gaming chairs, even when you look at that, I mean, their sample size for gaming chairs was actually pretty small in that video. And as somebody who's reviewed 30 or 40, maybe even more gaming chairs at this point, I can tell you that there are definitely a lot of gaming chairs that are virtually the same chair with a different logo slapped on it. And then there are a handful of manufacturers that do have pretty unique designs. And so, doing some research, looking at different comparisons, I've got several top 5 gaming chair videos over the years that talk about some of the better chairs out there, is going to really help you to make sure that you don't end up with one of these really crappy, just rebranded chairs. The second mistake I see people making is not following the sizing guide for the manufacturer of the chair. If we take someone like Secretlab, for example, they've got 3 different variations of their chairs, and they'll tell you the weight limit, they'll tell you the size recommendations, and those are there for a reason. A lot of times people will just assume that one model of chair is better than the other, or that a chair is a chair. But when you have these more fitted style chairs, it does make a pretty big difference to make sure that you follow the sizing guide that they give you. The third mistake is kind of silly, but it's one of the bigger ones on this list, and that's not considering how you like to sit in your chair when you make the purchase. So a lot of times these chairs usually fall into one of 2 categories. They're either a very slim kind of hug you into the chair fit, or it's more of a kind of wider flat-based relaxed fit. So if you're somebody that likes to sit in your chair with more like, bring your legs up, cross your legs in your chair, or you bring your knees up, or you sit on one leg or something like that, you don't want to get a chair that's going to be one of these slimmer, more fitted chairs, because you'll see on the base of the chair, it tends to have these like kind of sidewalls that come up. So if you're somebody that likes to cross your legs or something like that, these are going to dig into the sides of your legs and be very uncomfortable. So using Secretlab again as an example here, just because I'm more familiar with the models off the top of my head, something like the Omega has the more fitted design, so its sidewalls come up, whereas the Titan has just a completely flat seat base, so that would be the ideal chair for somebody who likes to sit cross-legged. Fourth item on this list is finish matters a lot more than you think. Now, the majority of these chairs all come wrapped in usually a cheap synthetic polyurethane leather. And while some of them can be better than others, the majority are pretty hot and sweaty. They don't distribute heat well. They definitely don't hold up as well over time as some other materials. If you look at like the premium leather models, or in my opinion, the best ones are going to be the fabric wrapped chairs. They're a lot more breathable. They tend to hold up better and generally are just a more comfortable experience overall. The last mistake is assuming that more expensive chairs are better. And in my opinion, after looking at tons of different chairs over the years, I think the sweet spot tends to be around $400 to $450 for a really good chair. If you start to get into like the $1,000 plus range, for just talking about strictly gaming chairs here, you do really start to get diminishing returns in terms of the features that you get versus the overall package. Now, if you look at something like Herman Miller Aerons or LF Gaming Stealths or these other chairs that do command very premium prices, those do also come with their own sets of features and materials that do justify those prices in some cases. But just talking about strictly, your run-of-the-mill racing style gaming chair, I would not pay more than $500 for any of those chairs, regardless of features or finish options. And lastly, I just want to leave you guys with a couple of brands I would recommend staying away from. Brands like Seat, which I could not recommend staying away from enough, to Opseat, which is a little bit cheaper, but you definitely get what you pay for in that sense. To Noble chairs, which I know is kind of a hot take because a lot of people like them, but I found them to be very hard to sit on. The finish was very thick and not flexible, and just overall was not impressed with the price of those for what you get. If you guys want to learn more about gaming chairs, I've actually done several videos, and I think at this point I've probably had more in-house than a lot of people out there. So definitely want to help you guys make a good decision. You can take a look at some of my top 5 videos, as well as just some general guides on what to look for when purchasing your chair. I'll leave all those down in the description for you down below. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next one.